Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3S's. I'm your Chantele Francis here with Michelle to talk about the finale, the final episode of the challenge, All-Stars 5, Rivals, and Unrivaled Twist. Michelle, how are you doing now that it's all come to an end? And we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm happy that it's done. It was an interesting journey, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm like so satisfied because I'm not, but I'm not mad. And at least some of what I predicted happened, which is Melissa and Nicole getting last, called that. So I feel like at least that didn't happen. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily my favorite final, but there were aspects of it that I particularly really liked.
Definitely. I'm probably have to agree with you. I enjoy All Stars in general, so
Yeah.
we're starting at a high baseline.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
So our criticism is starting at like an elite level, we'll say. And so I definitely had loved some episodes this season. I love some elements of this final. I agree. I wasn't completely satisfied because we kind of knew all throughout the season if a certain team was there, they were likely going to win. And so there wasn't that much intrigue and like, ooh, who's going to win? Like, as I think that they were hoping there to be.
Yeah.
And, I'm happy with the winners, but it wasn't that satisfying. And the last challenge that they did, just because they cut it and you're like, oh, who was it? Like, it wasn't really enough to make it that suspenseful or like, cliffhanger,
And like it would have been way more dramatic to have Devin and Shane be making that decision at the end also. So it's like it could have been more dramatic, more interesting perhaps, but
we got some friends joining us. Hi, Kate. And okay, W says Turbo and Nany win that easily.
Oh, yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, they probably would have.
I do agree. Definitely. Well, I mean, they're not definitely. You can't say that because there's certain things that like happened, but I think they would have a very good chance of getting first.
Hi, Willie. So Dabu here says All-Stars 1 had the best format. 4 and 5 were meh.
See, I disagree. Well, I disagree with because All-Star 1, I didn't like that there was one winner. I don't.
Okay, hated that.
I don't like when there's only one winner unless it's in a way that feels like it's actually fair. I don't know.
It can't be
controversial, but I don't. I like when there's one of each, or if it's a team and there's things, then it's a team, sure. But like, I don't like that. I didn't like how it was just like one winner, whatever. But yeah.
I definitely do think the final was a little bit more captivating. Willie says at least also 5 was better than season 40. Agree or disagree?
Yes, agree.
Agreed.
Throughout, yeah.
Agreed. We know what she meant, Dabu. No problem. Dreadful Ruby wanted Devin and Shane to win so bad. I did too. All they needed to do was be better in that damn teacup saucer boat thing. They just need to be a little bit better than that in that one. And I also heard that there were other challenges, at least one other challenges that we did not see. So I think it still favored Adam and Steve, but maybe I don't know if it would have helped them.
That have affected the points, like, and they just changed the amount of points.
I think so. I heard on another podcast someone speculating, and then I hadn't watched it yet, but I heard that maybe Adam might have confirmed that there was another checkpoint that wasn't seen. But I haven't seen this with my own eyes or heard someone speak with their own eyes. It's kind of just like hearsay rattling. So
and that has happened before. There's been things they haven't shown. So
but it's like, just show it. Oh, and even Angel Cake, I watched one of his reviews and he said that there was a checkpoint that wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So it's annoying because there wasn't that, like, you could have added 4 minutes to this and taken 4 minutes out of somewhere else so we could see that checkpoint. Like, you didn't have to spend that much time on it. Dreadful says the only issue I have with 5 is the mix of gender on teams. I 100% have to agree with this. And as much as I think that Adam and Steve are deserved winners, I thought that, they, for the hand that they were given, they were thrown in many times. They won several dailies, several eliminations, and they won the final show. Great on them. They definitely were.
Yeah.
They definitely deserve
technically it. Like in terms of challenges, they did the best overall the whole season. To have 5 elimination wins is like really not that heard of in one season, to still make it through that many times. And yeah, some of them were easy competitors. Some of them were harder competitors. Some of them, whatever. And they are one of only 2 guy teams. But like that said, in terms of performance in challenges and dailies and everything, they did the best. In terms of strategy, they were not even close to the top 5 of strategic teams. So like that aspect, but hey, listen, didn't matter because they won. So
absolutely. And for them, like they did what was best for their team to win. Yeah. They were aligned with the right people that weren't going to throw them in. They ended up having the numbers. They were able to keep safe the times that they didn't have any power. And so we'll say good on them for that. Yeah. But I really just wish that it was a mixed gender team. Make them all mixed gender teams. I don't know why we needed to have just like an assortment of gender or like team dynamics, like it just, for me, that is what is the most frustrating about it, because there's a lot of things that they got to do together that favored a male team, whether it's height, whether it's strength, whether it's stamina. Like these are all things that tend to favor men. And yes, there's a lot of women that can compete. I'm not saying that women can't compete, whatever, but just if there's the same age and same height, men will be stronger in certain areas in physical things. It's just the way our muscle mass kind of, develops. So it's just frustrating that, Nicole and Mel are not really going to have a chance going up against these two, no matter how strong they are or fast they are, or they're just probably not. The mixed teams, a better chance, but we knew from the beginning that a male team was likely going to win.
Yeah.
And
it was just more likely. Obviously, it wasn't impossible. Devon and Shane almost did it. Like, listen, it's not impossible. It's just, it just favored them. That's all for the final for most of it.
Well, for most of the season, right?
Yeah,
like even going up against their female teams in elimination or male female teams. Did they go up against? They didn't go up against. No, they did. Devin and Leroy, but then they got to do that challenge again in the final. So is that fair? Not sure. Favors them. So, there's just a few things that kind of frustrated me with the fairness, but with the hand that they were given, they definitely deserved to win for sure. Yeah. Debbie says sure, one winner was a problem, but they did test all aspects.
Oh yeah, and also one. Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure.
Laura and Cara beat Steven All-Star. As far as they are unbeatable, Nicole, Melissa, and Sam aren't the women to do it.
Fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like with the caliber of the teams, they were way stronger.
With the caliber that we had.
Steve could have potentially beat them if he hadn't made that mistake, right?
Yeah. And like the fact that even in general, you had a team with Veronica and Katie on it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you had that. Like, it's not like you had like, like one person who's stronger, like it's, it's not like the girl teams were like Nicole and Cara together. You know what I mean? Like two more, at least a bit more muscly or something, or like whatever. Kind of a different.
Right.
The best
how did Janae and Beth compare to Adam and Steve?
I love that Janae was just like, I don't know if I would have even been able to handle being with her. So like on a season. So like she obviously just wanted to get out at that point.
Okay, so just like whatever, we're just gonna jump around probably for this recap. The title's called An Unrivaled Twist. So I'm assuming they're talking about the twist at the end that we were just not going to see coming, even though we talked about it in episode 1. Did TJ catch you a little bit with his wordplay on how Steve may have not voted for him to split the money?
No, I mean, like, I thought it was like weird that they were like, okay, instead of doing like, are you going to steal or are you going to like share, it's like, oh, what's the other person going to do? But you don't know what the other person's going to do because the other person is choosing what they think you're going to do. So neither of you is actually saying what you're going to do. You're just saying what you think the other person would do hypothetically, because neither of you are making that decision. It's just more so, oh, I think they're going to say this about me. So I want to say the same thing so we get the money. Because if I say the opposite, if we're not aligned or whatever, if
Is
one of
that
them
what would
says,
have happened though? Because like
yeah, so
usually it's like I would say like I split or steal, and if like I say steal and the other person says split, you steal the money. But if you're
yeah,
saying like I think the other person would steal and they do steal, or no,
no, he said there
but
would be a competition. So he was
oh,
essentially, he said, if you guys didn't have the same answer in terms of like, if they both decide to split, what happens? If one says split and one says steal, then they do a one-on-one competition against each other for all of the money. Same thing if they both said steal, which I think would have been really fun because it's like, okay, at least you're not just stealing it. You're being like, okay, well, now we're going to compete one against each other because there's no way to compare who did better throughout the challenge, you know? So yeah, I mean, that would have been fun, but also like they were never going to do that because they discussed it beforehand that
well,
they
and
weren't going to steal.
also though, like it wouldn't have been able to like what if it falls into one person's skill set and not another? Like it
Yeah.
just would be so shitty. It'd be great for the person that said share that if
Yeah.
they won, but if like they said share, the person that steal and then they didn't, they lose this stupid competition, that would be really frustrating.
Yeah.
Out of the teams that were in the final, do you think that everybody would have chosen for the other person to share?
I think that no. I actually saw an interview, a clip, because I don't actually watch the podcasts, but or like I don't watch Zach's podcast, but I see clips. And Frank was saying if he was in that situation, he would have had a really hard time choosing split and that he probably would have chosen steal. And he's like, honestly, I mean, at that point, he's like, I did, or can I split it 99 to 1% because I did 99% of the work? Like he's still like clearly bitter. Like he was nice in a way, he was being nice about Sam. Like, you know, unfortunately, like it's just like beyond her capacity. Like there was only so much we could do. But he did say, like, if I was in that position, like, you know, for his family, for this, for that, he wants to have a kid, all these things, he would have stolen it. Who knows if he actually would have?
I mean, he's saying that also to be called back, right? Like,
he also, but then he also said he's never going back. He said that he's done. He said he just wanted to come back, see if he could. I mean, I agree with you. Like, but he specifically said, this is not a Leroy retirement. Like, I'm not coming.
But like everybody that says that they retired, they always come back. So I'm sure if the price is right, he will come back. Saying that you'll never come back makes you more desirable, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
I thought this I'm like, is that actually Frank? I don't think so.
I know. I was like, oh.
Debbie says should have announced the steal share twist earlier in the final to up the tension. Maybe.
Yeah.
Would it have? I don't know.
If anything, it could have caused a little bit more tension between Devon and Shane. But at the end of the day, they all had talked about it in the house. So I don't think that I think they all expected it would be an option. They just didn't know how exactly it was going to go down. So yeah.
I don't remember like how that season panned out. What I mean, like along the way, but
it was horrible in every way. It was so painful.
Yeah,
he told her the whole way he was going to split it the whole time and like got her to, you know.
So anyway. This is us like speculating that it might be Frank. So I'm sorry, I would have stolen. No way I would have trusted Steve. And then he says, not Frank on the season. So thank you for clarifying. Thank you. Adam sometimes listens, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And if you are listening now, Adam, congratulations. Congratulations on your engagement to Avery. Would you like to
Did they actually do it? Did they post on it?
I saw a post. I did see a post.
Oh my God. So. I was gonna look at that.
So yeah, if you want to come on and talk about your experience, we would love to have you. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so Haley says, I don't think that Frank will ever do flagship season again, but I do believe that he but I don't believe that he won't go on All Stars again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like flagship's too long. All Stars is more of a possibility, I think.
Right.
Dabu wants Frank to come back to All Star 6. The flagship probably is too long. Exactly. So, so maybe it's all semantics, right? Maybe he's like, I'll never do the show again, but he really means the flagship.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Okay, let's start talking about this episode. At the beginning, we have Frank and Sam with 7 stars, Nicole and Mel at 9, the old timers, Adam and Steve with 10 stars, and Shane Davon with 13. Did I talk with you about the part 1 of the final, or was it just me and Matthew? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was me.
I mean, okay, I'm like, who do I need to get more information from? And we do get teased, though, as the audience, that the split or steal is coming. But it might have been a good idea to maybe, tee this into the contestants. So that they're maybe thinking about it, or maybe that their confessionals had something to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so everybody deserves a hot meal. They're going to have pho. Have you ever had pho, Michelle?
Yeah, of course. Love it. Who hasn't?
Me too. Did you like the title of this, Pho King Trivia?
Yeah, I did. I did like it.
Me
and I liked this eating, like, as far as I like the idea that there's like a trivia aspect to it about knowing each other, because it is a rival season. So like, that's interesting. Or how much do you know your partner? But then in the end, it doesn't really matter, because if you can consume it quickly enough, you can still win that like heat, So yeah, I thought it was fun. It was one of my favorites of the different, checkpoints.
Well, and like of eating challenges on a final, sometimes they're like they're just bad.
And also Shane doing this with the cup, I died.
I didn't notice that. So go on.
Oh my God, wait, what? No, it was a huge moment. So when they... So
I was watching it on my phone in a hotel.
Okay, room, so there's this moment. There's this moment, like one of the first ones. Davon and Shane get asked a thing, and they get it correct, so they're able to give to somebody else. And he gets up and he goes to, who does he go to?
Mel and Nicole.
Mel and Nicole. And he says, as he's walking over, he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna go in order of like down the line to like make an excuse." And he says in this confessional, well, don't want to give it to Frank and Sam. They're already so like far down. Might as well give it to Nicole and Melissa. So he walks over, and then like Nicole makes some rude, like, how dare you kind of vibe, like says something like, why would you do that? Like, that's so stupid. Mm-hmm. And he grabs the cup, and it's like clearly all the contents have fallen. And he goes,
I do remember that actually now.
Oh my gosh, the drama.
Making sure that he got every last drop out. Nicole was just sitting there like,
yeah.
I do actually remember that. So what's going into these this pho is black snails, red chili peppers, beautiful coconut worms. I think those are the only 3 items going in, right?
Yeah.
Which one would be the grossest for you?
The worms. Anything chunky, anything with texture. Without texture, the things that were more liquidy are going to be easier to get down. Yes, the spice is going to mess you up. You're probably going to puke and stuff from that, but at least you'll get it down. Whereas like anything maggoty. Yeah, of course.
Frank is like, the ingredients matter for sure. I can drink a Coke faster than guts.
Yes. I mean, obviously. I just mean like if you have someone on your team who doesn't care at all, someone like CT, and is going to just consume it no matter what, it doesn't matter. If they have a lot of extra things in there, they're still probably going to win because he's so fast at it. This is more so what I meant.
Haley thinks that they shouldn't have called this trivia, but instead the Newlyweds Game. I kind of agree, to be honest. Like, it wasn't actual trivia questions. It was, how well do you know your partner?
Yeah, exactly.
So would you prefer it to be maybe lean more into the Newlyweds vibe, or do you think that they should have done more maybe challenge-based trivia, or like just more questions that are hilarious?
I think with All Stars, I don't know. I always love when there's trivia about the challenge. Yeah. But like, these people aren't the people that are going to know. You know what I mean? Like, because they're not fans, they're OGs or more of them. Not they're not all OGs, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like newer people like Nerys who were like fans are going to know more trivia, if that makes sense. Or people like Wes who just like know because they study it or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. I always like challenge trivia. I like maybe a bit about each other, but yeah, they can maybe make it more challenge focused.
Or like it's just not funny not knowing someone's last name, right? Like it's just like what I like about trivia, and I guess it's just the mean girl in me, is like I like to be like, oh my god, they're so dumb, they're so stupid, like you don't know that, like that's what I want. I don't care about their last names. I kind of knew them all. I think actually maybe I didn't know his last name was Fox. I thought it was actually Sweeney, but that's his middle name. Now we're learning, so there's that. But like it's just not that interesting when people got the answers wrong. It's like
okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you didn't know their middle name or whatever,
or like make it more obscure. Like I know all their star signs. Did they ask them that this time around?
They didn't.
That was another. No. It was in the other game. It was in the other milkshake game. Actually, yeah, it's the exact same thing. The milkshake. Yeah, oh my god, I'm mad actually. Now that I realize it was the exact same competition before. Okay, so the first question was, "What's your partner's middle name?" And that's when Shane and Devin answered correctly. Diane, we all actually know that, and he does give it to Mel and Nicole. And thank you for that dramatization of what he did there to remind me of this scene. And so Frank and Sam, then they get their question right. They give it to Shane and Devin, and then Mel and Nicole also give their correct answer to Shane Devin. So now this is also, I think, a flaw in this game, because like I would think that if you got it right, it should prevent you from being sabotaged, right?
Yeah,
like it should be just like one round. Not everybody answers. Like, you know what I mean? One round questions. Not everybody guesses a round and gets to sabotage everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Like a regular trivia would be.
Yeah, if you get it wrong, then you have to do it on yourself. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're wrong, you put it on yourself. Or because like in trivia, say they have like 3 X's, you know, everybody goes and they get their own question. If they get it wrong, they have to cut their string or whatever. But like it's a different question per round per person. Not everybody gets the same question. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a little bit you know, it just kind of sucked for Shane and Devin because like they got theirs right, but then they still got all the ingredients put into their cups. They asked to spell your partner's last name. I'm like, is that interesting? Not really, but I would love to see them spell a very simple word. That, you know, wouldn't it be funny to see Nicole try to spell anything?
Yeah, that would have been that would have been great.
Right? But no. Adam and Steve, they got it wrong, I guess, and they decided to give it to themselves. They didn't want to sabotage anyone. How do you feel about that?
I hate that. Like, I literally went, ew, I hate that as I was watching. I mean, like, literally, it doesn't matter. Like, literally none of it affected their ability to still win. So like, I really can't say actually anything real about it. However, I just hate that. Like, I'm like, come on, it's the challenge. Like, it's the end. Sabotage somebody who you think could get ahead of you. Like, why would you not sabotage Devin and Shane? And like, you know, I don't know.
Well, Shane does retaliate with Nicole and Melissa. Yeah. Frank and Sam, they sabotage Adam and Steve, and Melissa and Nicole, I put own. They did themselves. I guess it's just the chili.
Yeah.
Okay, what team would your partner sabotage, eliminate, and save? This is kind of like a fuck, marry, kill vibe. But it was kind of hard to remember what people were saying, so it just didn't work for me. And so Adam guessing wrong added worms. Ugh, gross. Day says us, and us. I'm like, why Day? You know that's not going to be the right answer. Why wouldn't she try to do it?
Because she was getting upset that he was giving stuff to Nicole and Melissa and creating that back and forth that they were getting worse stuff. and it went against their like alliance that they had. So I think she was like trying purposely to
to only just get themselves
to just get themselves at that point, because she was
instead
like,
of
I don't want
everybody
anybody
separate.
else going on them, I guess.
Okay.
But like at that point, who cares? Like, I don't
It's gonna
know.
be disgusting anyways.
Yeah.
Frank and Sam said that they'd save Nicole and Mel, sabotage Devon and Shade, and eliminate Ab and Steve. So they get that correct. All I wrote was gross, but then we learned a little bit more about Steve. Steve has dabbled in competitive eating. Do you know any competitive eaters?
No, but I was like, whoa, when I saw that, I thought that was funny. Wow, him and CT need to go head to head.
Wait, CT he's just like as our and Nany. Nany's pretty good at eating.
Yeah, that's true.
But competitive eaters, it reminds me. Did I talk to you about this before? Have you seen Stand By Me?
No, what's that?
You never seen Stand By Me?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's like a coming of age movie. I think the original book was Stephen King,
Okay.
and it's about these, I think, 5 boys that they go on this journey and they discover like a dead body, and like it's with like River Phoenix and Corey Feldman and
Okay.
what's his name, Jerry O'Connell. Like it's like it's an epic coming of age movie. I won't tell you then the scene that I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'll watch it.
It's actually excellent. It's like it's a movie that I've seen many, 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 many times, and it's a very, very good movie. Anyways. Okay, well, my little story is not going to matter then. Willie says competitive eating can be good or bad because if you eat too much, you can get sick.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to competitive eat because I don't like feeling super full.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, honestly, I would be good at it, but like, it's for me, it's all texture. If something has a texture that I can't handle, I will I won't be able to get it down.
What kind of textures do you not like?
Like super gelatinous.
Yeah, slimy.
And slimy, but like gelatinous specifically and like rubbery. Like if the flavor is really gross, but the texture is fine, I could get it down. Because I just I can disassociate from the flavor, but I can't disassociate from the texture. I plug my nose from
the inside. Like that, no matter what, like this whole competition, I would be like not tasting or smelling anything, and I'd be sounding like this. Yeah. I agree, texture. I can do gelatinous, maybe. But slimy is the worst for me. Anything that's kind of snot like.
I mean, yeah, that's in that world for me. Like it's all that's all in that.
But like, you know, like it's snot like where it's rancid. Rancid slimy is like that's just too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bleh. Wait. Okay. Haley says Coral will be on the Traders. I'm like, really? I feel it.
I would love that because also no one would know her, so it would actually kind of be great.
And so Sophie here is kind of suggesting that All Stars 6 might not be renewed officially. I did see a post with Mark Long saying like it hasn't been canceled, but it hasn't been renewed or something like that. Have you heard or seen anything about this?
No, I haven't heard or seen anything about it. But honestly, the fact that it's even lasted 5 seasons already is like pretty amazing. Because
I think it would have lasted longer if they didn't ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like they started ruining it, and I'm like, well, it's still getting to 5 seasons. Like I'm impressed because to have it like alongside the regular season, it's not really like All Stars, but they're just calling it All Stars. Anyways, I don't know. I love it. I want it to keep going. But I also won't be surprised if it gets put on pause.
Put on pause. That's like a Bravo term. Do you watch Bravo shows?
I mean, I have. Lately, I'm not.
Lisa Rinna was put on pause.
Oh, yeah.
And other Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and other shows. I think Dorinda was put on pause.
Oh my God, Dorinda.
Also, but that was from New York. Okay, apparently it tastes like blood, piss, and sweat. Not great. That's not great. but I wouldn't be smelling it. All right, so after this competition, Steve and Adam get 4 stars because they get it down first. Frank and Sam get 3 stars because they get down second. Good for them. Shane and Devon third, 2 stars, and Mel and Nicole 1 star. So now they're going to be sleeping outside. There was nothing like hard about this. Like it wasn't like one person had to stay awake and one person had to, sleep, or they're sleeping on a log. It was just plain sleeping.
They used to really torture them, and they don't do that as much now.
Ew. That's like torture them, damn it.
Torture them.
This is already an easy final. Torture them.
And like, to be fair, like Adam and Steve are probably people who would be more affected than others by a lack of sleep. Because as you get older, it gets harder and harder to like deal. Like I find now compared to 10 years ago, when I get no sleep, it's like a little bit harder for me to like my brain to like turn on.
I would like to say that I agree, but no, because I never have sleep. So like I love sleep. I'm a sleeping girly, but as a flight attendant, you like, okay, we're going to suffer through it. Like, or like, you don't want to go to sleep because you want to go out for dinner with your crew, or like, okay, we'll just do it. We'll get up early, and you're just like, fine, we'll go to the beach at 7. Our flight's at 10. You're like, so we're always sacrificing sleep for the experience. So yeah, I just deal with it. Geriatric stars, stop, Frank. They're my age, jerk.
I mean, technically, I'm considered geriatric by some doctors in like a year. So I think it's all relative.
It's true. I'm definitely like whatever is after geriatric compared for doctors, anyways. So Adam plans to propose to Avery with his winnings. It's an Avery thing. Aw, isn't that sweet? So yeah, they are like really in love, which is cool. I think I was talking to you about just curious as to what happened with his past relationship, just me being nosy. But so if anybody kind of knows, or Madam, if you want to explain, I'm just curious. Yeah. Like, I'm happy that you are moved on and that your children are with Avery. I'm just curious about like the dynamic there. Like, is there your ex in the picture, all that jazz? Just curious. And would she ever do a show? Would she ever come on and do exes with you? Like, that'd be interesting, right?
Yeah, true.
All right, High Tide is the next one. It's a mile-long course in those bamboo saucer things. Nicole doesn't know her right from her left. She would be such an annoying partner. I hate dumb people. So, not hate, but like working with people that I think
working with them.
It just really, really frustrates me.
Oh my God, I could literally never deal with that.
And
she's yelling about it. I'm like, oh my God, girl.
So my mom used to say to me growing up all the time, and it's probably because I'm Aquarius. Aquarius, our verb is to know. I know everything. Yeah. I want to know everything. I need to know everything. I know it all. I was always a know-it-all. My mom used to always tell me, like, Chantele, not everybody's going to be as smart as you are. And so I always was like, ugh. So annoying. So I would not be able to deal with Nicole because Lamar says pop off on stupidity.
Truly.
Oh, I mean, I would be rolling my eyes.
I mean, what's my excuse? Because I also was a huge know-it-all as a kid, and I'm not an Aquarius, so I don't know why I was.
Well, Sagittarius is not I know, it's I seek. And so you do like obtaining information as well. And so Sagittarius sometimes becomes scholars or gurus. And so you do become a master in a certain variety. So it is a similar seeker of knowledge, right? So I can understand why you might want to be a know-it-all as well. Or maybe it's my Venus in Sagittarius and it's not my Aquariusness, right? Maybe. But yeah, I love a know-it-all. If they know it all.
If they actually do, because the thing is, I didn't. So, but when there's an actual know-it-all who knows, I'm like, yeah, I'll follow you. If you know, listen, great.
Willie says Nicole has no common sense. I know. It's wild. Also, like, do we forget that she has identical twins? She was a triplet and she has identical twin sisters. Do we forget that?
I forget that. Yes.
It's so wild to me. And
That is
one of them was
wild.
on Say Yes to the Dress, or one of those dress
Oh my
shows.
gosh, so weird.
So
I wonder if they all
weird.
have the same accent.
I was just about to say that, but I think they do. But I feel like her sisters, because her sisters are the twins, or like they're identical. I feel like hers is more unique, and like the sisters, they're the same, but like not as strong as Nicole's.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mary says, yeah, I watched her skeleton season. Yeah. I just wild. All right. So Frank and Sam are out of the water first. They get 4 stars. Now, this is where I'm saying that Devon and like, I don't know how Devon and Shane couldn't have beat Nicole and Melissa. Like, they were in the back pretty much the whole time from what they showed us in the episode. Yeah. Like, why? How did they get 4th place? Why?
I don't understand.
It's hard to understand. 2nd place is Adam and Steve. 3rd place is Nicole and Mel. And like I said, Shane and Devon only get 1 star this round. And so this hurts them. It definitely hurts them. We know that Sam hurt her knee the day before. Do you think this is just an excuse?
Yes. Well, maybe not an aware excuse. Like, I think in Sam's mind, it's probably the anxiety of like, oh, this is a little bit not good. Because we see later that like it was a thing that Frank like taped for her and like made sure was good and had checked as like someone who knows. So I think it was technically fine, but it's like that thing where you tell yourself it's not okay because you're stressed and you're tired and you're sore and you're like, oh no, it's getting so bad. And then it kind of almost manifests into feeling worse. I would say it's more about that. So it's like her mindset made the slight thing way like more extreme.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think we talked about this probably quite a bit when Aneesa hurt her ankle when she was running the final with Jordan. And it's also like, yes, everybody is allowed, like, whatever size you are to compete in these shows. I get it, right? But there's something to be said about being at least a little bit physically fit, because too much weight on the body. These are hard on your joints, on your ankles. Like, these are places where stress happens very easily, especially if you have a lot of weight on your body. And so I kind of think that it needs to be a slight prerequisite for challengers to be a little bit physically fit, because I think it's just dangerous for them.
Yeah.
And like for Frank, just very unfair.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Very unfair. But next they're going to do shoulder the load, where they have basically this bamboo rod with these 2 kind of saucer things hanging from the sides, kind of like scales, where they have to bring it over, fill it up with water, and then fill up their tube. It's, they're called Vietnamese bowls. They have to do it in tandem, but they didn't actually both have to carry the pole. You just need to touch your partner or touch the pole as they're walking. And so I did appreciate Shane taking the brunt of that task, and Devon just needed to touch the pole as he carried the pole in the Vietnamese bowls. Yeah. And there was a good idea for Sam. So really, Shane took the second bowl to kind of allow it to be able, the water to ricochet and not to lose water when they're pulling into the cylinder. So I thought that was very smart.
Very smart. TJ was like, that's so smart. Wow.
Yeah. But I was hoping like nobody else saw them, because I wanted them to have that advantage, you know?
Yeah.
So Sam hurts a lot. She can't breathe. Frank says that he did an orthopedic evaluation on her and nothing's wrong. Also, there's potentially that. And so I said, yay, Shane and Devon win. They get 4 stars. 2nd place is Adam and Steve with 3 stars. And I'm like, yikes, Frank finally loses his temper, because both him and Nicole DNF because there was a time limit on this particular challenge. Mm-hmm. Frank got pretty mad. He's lecturing Sam on, her capability or whatever. And then we see Shane kind of defending Sam and being like, hey, Frank, like, cool it. And then you see Steve walking with Frank and trying to get him to like calm down a little bit. So what do you think about his little bit of a meltdown, because he's been keeping his cool most of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the nicest thing, obviously, but it was obviously
So I'm saying, like, people should be
yeah.
needing to do like ACL repairs. Like, that's a really, really seriously dangerous, like, and painful. I've told you the story when someone tore their ACL in ballet class, and it was like the sound was like horrifying. And this was somebody that was a teenager that was in like prime condition, hurting herself because she landed on a jump incorrectly. Like, that sucks. Anyway, so I just think that if they're going to keep it this physical, they need to keep in mind that people need to be physically capable. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I forget. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was cute, but also like, yeah, I mean, was it on in his confessionals after, or was it on the podcast thing that I listened to where he talked about how to him it was like the idea of getting a child, is going to be like $100,000 or whatever, how much it's going to cost for him and his partner to be able to do this. And to him, it's like someone taking that away from him and it being ripped away in that exact moment. And it's completely out of his control. And like, he would have beat all these people on his own and blah, 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 that it just like took over, I guess. But at that point, like that wasn't what was going to help. It didn't help anything. It didn't make Sam better for the rest of it. So yes, I do think it's understandable. Of course, we always knew this was going to be the case if they were in the final. Yeah, and it kind of sucks. I wish, like in a different world, I wish, like, I feel like Frank got in a lot of fights. I wish it could have been cool if he had literally so many other people, like maybe not Aneesa, but like so many other people he could have been with. Any gender, any level of whatever. Oh yeah, you shot it once.
So Frank says here, not Frank from the show, but Frank from the chat. Next time, Frank, don't rival an unfit cast member for you to potentially start up with. His frustrations was wasted. Your shot at winning was imminent once you learned the twist. But the thing is that when they were rivals, like where it began was like 10 years ago on Battle of the Seasons, where she was probably 100 pounds lighter. And so, he didn't necessarily know that he's going to be asked to go on Rivals later and she was going to have gained weight and not be physically. She wasn't great. And they really had to push her hard and kind of unkindly to win their Battle of the Seasons. But he had no idea that she was going to be his partner and that she was also going to be out of even.
And they didn't. They didn't have a rivalry. They didn't have a actual fight before the final. The final was what happened. In the final, Frank was dragging Sam, saying horrible things to Sam, being horrible to her. So was Zach. They were both being horrible to Sam. And that is what we're using as the rival. And so, yes, it was a fight, but it was a fight in the final. It's kind of different than a fight in throughout the season. I feel like is a different type of rivalry than just like, yeah, at the final, things got heated. They were absolutely horrible to Sam, treated her so terribly. And now they're using that as like the point. But I feel like Frank had way other fights with like big names in the challenge world. While he was on like 2 seasons, or however many seasons he was on, he got in some, arguments with people. So I feel like there could have been other people.
Hannah says it would have been frustrating to have an anchor this entire season. She didn't even help with the political game. He did everything all season, and the one time he needs her to clock in, she's incapable. Yeah. It would be frustrating. I don't know if I would be able to be kind in that moment. I don't know. Like I might lose it as well. It's sometimes these stressful situations bring out the worst in people, and frustration when you're capable of doing something and your partner isn't, it just really sucks. So Mary says Frank was fighting a lot of people. They could have given him a different rival. Absolutely. Frank and Nany, yes, would have dominated the season. Turbo, who would they give Turbo to? Any women that would have been a good Turbo rival? Other
Like
than Nany?
other than Nany. You could have put him. Did he ever get into a fight with like Ashley? That would have been cool. Him and Ashley
Well,
together.
he maybe Melissa. That could be an
Oh, he
okay
could be
team.
with Melissa.
And then it would go with me thinking that they're gonna have sexual tension.
Except Melissa and Turbo would never work well together. And this is the thing is like Nany doesn't get like she should get a lot of credit too for the fact that like he is so this and then that and like you can't predict how he's going to react to something and you have to be prepared to kind of like, you know, and Melissa just would never. I don't think that they would work well together.
Well,
Yeah,
definitely,
exactly.
like there's definitely a lot of men. I wasn't thinking. I just don't want to have a male team. I thought they should have all been male female. That would have been fun to me.
If they had
Turbo
brought
and
back Dustin, though, that would have been crazy.
Like Dustin. He's from Nany's original season.
Yeah. No,
he did porn, right?
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah.
That was the first. No, the original, the challenge, original Real World. No.
Well, he was from the Real World. Yeah,
he wasn't from their season though. He wasn't from Vegas.
He's
and the blonde girl.
Yeah, they're from. I honestly am.
Let's see, Dustin.
I forget what season he's from, but perhaps you're correct.
Let's see. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Real World Las Vegas.
Okay.
2011. So I was like, I feel like they were on the same season. Turbo and his hairline. What did you get out of here, Mary? I love Turbo. I don't know if Michelle loves Turbo.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I love Turbo, but I'm totally content with him being on the show when he's just being regular levels of chaos, you know?
I do think, though, that Frank was being sincere when he kind of had a bit of a heart-to-heart with Sam. I think he resigned himself to not really being able to win this challenge, and so he was just going to, like, repair his relationship and repair maybe a little bit of his image here, where he's basically asking her to take better care of herself, and that he will help her in any way that he can, and that her mindset isn't great, and, like, he needs to switch her mindset. And I think that's true. I think that anytime someone's like very over or out of shape, it's usually a mindset thing or a protection thing or a barrier thing.
Yes.
So it does to me say that she's had some trauma that we are probably likely unaware of, that she's using food and her weight to likely cope with whatever trauma she experienced in her early childhood or maybe a recent trauma. And so I think that he has pinpointed something about that she does need to get maybe help to maybe figure out what's going on the inside to help her have a better mindset and then potentially do better if she ever came back to another challenge season.
Yeah.
And he does say he didn't want to embarrass her. He just wants to support her and he's willing to do that. So I thought it was a nice moment.
I agree.
It was good. So we get to the final checkpoint, which I was very underwhelmed with. Balance them all. And so there's a bunch of sandbags and a teeter-totter, and there are different weights of these sandbags. So they have to balance the sandbags and then also balance themselves on each side of the seesaw and make it hold for 1 second. I was like, or it seemed like 1 second. Maybe it was 2. So nothing really that excited. They went back and forth to everybody like, I can't do, and like seeing it just like, the meter kind of waving back and forth.
Yeah.
And it came between Davon and Shane and Adam and Steve. And they both seem to call check at about the same time. And then obviously we get a cut to commercial break and we don't know who won this. So you said that you knew for sure that it was Adam and Steve at this point, or was that later?
Yes.
Yeah, you did?
Well,
I kind of assumed.
But I still was like, maybe it will be Davon and Shane. Like I had that like, maybe.
I did that maybe too, because I saw somebody had posted their faces as their finale recap picture. And so I was like, Oh, so I was kind of leaning towards like that, like it was going to be a kind of an upset. And when I
Mhm.
saw it, when I was like, wow, oh my God, like they actually pulled it through, because I didn't really think about the poster of like the thumbnail
Yeah,
until this moment where I was like, oh my God, they're tied 2020. Like if they lose, if they win, like they win. And so
exactly.
I kind of thought like maybe just because of the thing, but you know, it wasn't likely in the end, because Adam and Steve win everything. So
Yep.
Adam and Steve do end up winning here, meaning Shane and Devon come in second, Frank and Sam third, and Mel and Nicole come in fourth place for this challenge, meaning that Mel and Nicole are going to be in fourth place overall, taking home $5,000 to split. Third place, they do replay Frank admitting that he is they, which I thought was fun. He
Yeah.
did mastermind this whole season, to be
Yeah.
quite honest.
Yeah.
He had some help of some good mastermind
Veronica and
artists for sure, but like him getting Veronica to be so fully on his side, I think was part of his mastermind game for
yes.
sure. So they're splitting 10 grand. There's nothing to sneeze about. I'll
Nope.
take 5 grand. Thank you. Like, and they're third place, like they're not even in last place with two.
It's pretty impressive that they moved that far ahead after how it started, you know?
And then challenge champions are going to be Steve and Adam, splitting $250,000, or are they? So we get TJ taking them off into another little room where they have to decide if the other person is going to steal or split. And then when they come back, TJ is trying to pretend like they weren't both going to split this. But they do. And as I say, dang, road rules for life. I'm like, I love road rules. It was honestly,
Yeah.
road rules got me into the challenge, because I've told the story before, but my dad was randomly watching MTV. He lives in the States, so it was easier for him to watch MTV in the 90s. And so he told me about this guy Abram, that he just came onto this RV, and they're traveling for prize money, and he's just fighting everybody. He's just so wild, this guy. And he's like, you have to watch. And so I went and I found it. I watched the episode and the season, and I used to go to the library and rent the VHS tapes to watch Road Rules. And then I watched all of Real World that I can get my hands on. Some channels had some marathons. Sometimes I went to the library. So I watched all of the seasons that I had missed up until that point. And then once I realized that I loved the show, I convinced my mom to get MTV as part of like TV packaging. And so then I became an MTV girly, and I was up to date. And I watched the first episode of the challenge. So Road Rules was my gateway drug to the challenge. So Road Rules for life. Shane and Devon will be splitting $35,000. Devon is really happy with her season. She came in second with her rival.
Like, that's huge for her.
I really wanted her to get a win, though. I thought it would have been
Me
a
too.
nice comeback story, you know? If she
And honestly, for her and like the fact that Shane was not allowed back for so many years after just because he refused to like take back the things that he said about production, and like the drop, like the tea that he was spilling and providing us entertainment, you know, whatever. And then it was like they wouldn't bring him back, and then they finally bring him back, and he performs this well in a final. Like he proved that he can complete a final. Like, it's pretty great for him as well. So I'm happy for him. You know, obviously, like, he had some controversial moments this season, but I'm happy for both of them that they like completed it. But yeah, obviously, if Devon had won, that would have been so crazy awesome for her.
It would have been so crazy awesome. It also would have been crazy awesome if Turbo and Nany were able to compete in this final, kick out Mel and Nicole.
Yeah.
Because it just would have been a little bit more competitive. Sorry, with those three teams, you know, like it just would have been a little bit more interesting. It might have been a little more neck and neck. It might have been a little bit more like, who's gonna get it? And like people would have been fighting a little bit harder, I think. But definitely I enjoyed the final. It was okay. What do you rate the final out of 10?
7.5.
Okay, that's all right. And what about the season overall?
I'd give the season like an 8.5.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
It was like, I really enjoyed most of the episodes. Most. Like, especially when like Veronica was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just in general, I really did enjoy them. I really did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we agree, Zuna man. Willie says Davon and Shane's first time in a final, and they did amazing. Yeah, they did. They just needed to do better in that saucer, and hopefully they would have won. Like, we don't know what that other challenge was, but whatever. So that's basically it. We talked a little bit already about TJ saying like the however with like the trying to make it suspenseful with the split or steal option, but we knew that they both weren't going to do that, and so that's the end of this season and this recap pretty much. It's kind of sad if it doesn't come back. Like, what do you think do you think that they just Mark needs to just get the people excited about it again? Like, what do you think needs to happen for the show to get back on the air? What do you think is the issue? What's your thoughts here?
I think they make it really difficult to watch. I think they keep changing what service it's on and how and this and that. It's not clear the difference, but for people who aren't already huge fans, like the flagship versus the All Stars, it's not really like that obvious. So I think that's like the main thing. Yeah, and then sometimes some casting things, but like, and also make the challenges a little bit more foolproof the way Survivor does. Like, test them. I'm sure they are, but test them more, make things a little bit more balanced in that way so that like there's less like issues of this person didn't even do this right, but they still won, or these pegs fell, or this thing, or the nails. Like, I think that is something that would help the legitimacy a little bit more. But I mean, I don't know. That's all I can think of, really.
Mary says the network is too much set in their ways, just the same problems like Big Brother Canada, rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, I do think they're set in their ways. They don't seem to actually listen. So they listened to We Want OGs for season 1, and we got so hyped and excited. And then they made it just like one person winning. You're just like, why would you do that? Like, you had a good thing going here, and like that sucked. And then season 2, did I like season 2? I think season 2 I liked second best. But okay, yeah, how would you rank these seasons? Let's just hear your ranking.
Of the All-Star seasons?
Yeah.
Hey, can you remind me the second and third? Who were the winner? Like,
John A.
Oh, John A.
And MJ, John A. and Wes.
Wait, John A. and Wes. Oh,
yeah.
Season 3.
Season 3 was with the Treehouse. Veronica hurt her foot before going into the final.
And season 4 was Laurel.
Correct. And Cara. And
I would rank them. So season 2 was MJ and John A.
Mm-hmm.
That one pissed me off the most because it shouldn't have been them. It should have been Darrell and Janelle or Nehemiah and what's her name?
Melanie.
That pissed me off the most. I would rank them. Oh man. I would honestly, I might put 5 as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then 3. I might go 5, 3, 1, 2, 4.
I think I'm gonna go with Haley here. I know the ending of All Stars 2 freaking sucked. But
the season is
about
good.
It. But up until that point, like, it was a good season. So I'm going to agree with Haley here. 5 is definitely my favorite All-Star season. 2 was with Save the Palace, right? That wasn't 1. That was 2, right? So like that Save the Palace. Like,
I think so. Yeah,
they're so iconic, these songs. I think that was when Nehemiah came out wearing Brad's like John A's hair extension as a beard. I think it was season 2. But like, I don't know. I just feel like season 2 had just more moments that I was really chuckled by. 3, Maybe I didn't like 3 though. No, but I like it more than 1 and 4. So yeah, I'm going with Haley's order here, I think. Mary is going
That's my order.
closer to you.
Yeah,
Or
that's
your
my
order.
order. That's my order, yeah.
And I understand. I can understand this.
Yeah.
For sure.
4 was my least favorite. Like the Nicole Laurel of it all. It was just like such a painful, it trudged on.
Yeah, and you're just
so
like, can we get rid
yeah.
of them so we don't have to deal with this storyline anymore? And they
Yeah,
both stay
exactly.
till the end. You're like, ugh, God. Yeah. How is 5 number 1 when people complain about non-OJ people being on it? Well, because we had those 3 episodes where Veronica and Frank dominated. So I definitely didn't like having Fessy and all those people on. They were kind of gone early, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll just like weigh that out with like not liking how it was not very transparent in the final. You know what I mean? Like there was a few things that were weighing things out. And so I think that overall I liked All Stars 5 better, but it did not have to do with the non-OG people.
Yeah.
What I liked about it was all the OG people.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, exactly. Mary says that 5 is great because of the OGs. Exactly.
Yeah.
Haley says, I'm glad we all agree 5 is the best and 4 is the worst. Just, but 5 really didn't have many OGs though. But the ones they did have delivered.
Yeah, and like Frank is an OG because he's from the real world. Like that's an OG. You had Nany, you had Veronica, you had Katie. You know what I mean? We also like had Ashley briefly. We had like
Beth,
we had Beth, we had John. Like we had people.
Adam
but yes,
and Steve are both OGs.
They're both OGs. I liked Steve way more this season. He was way more entertaining. Yeah, so there were
Shane's
quite a few.
Also an OG.
Shane is, I would consider Shane an OG. And he brought so much drama. But yeah,
the people
I agree.
that didn't really bring that much drama were like Devin, Leroy, I think could be considered an OG still.
Even Dario, like, and
he's kind of OG.
He's kind of OG, and they had their relationship. You're like, ooh, like I wonder, will they, won't they? Like there was a bit of that. I don't know, just overall, yeah.
Dodgy MJ and Johnny Wynn doesn't make the whole season bad.
I fair point. It did leave a bad taste in my mouth.
It's Michelle's point. She's made it her 4th pick. So to me, I'm just like I remember loving that season, and we were furious about the ending.
We were furious because we actually had like Darrell and Janelle and Nehemiah, and we just had like such great options, and like they were doing so well. It wasn't like they flopped at the final. There were some sketchy things happening in that final, which have been discussed, and it is what it is. There's always at least some sketchiness, like, which is again a thing, but I was very disappointed with it. I was very disappointed.
Everyone who made the final was Real World Road Rules OGs basically, except for Devon and Mel. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed 5.
Right, I guess Nicole's Real World, right?
Yeah.
So she's OG.
Like same season as Sylvia, who was also on the season. Kellyanne also on the season.
Oh my God, I forgot. Kellyanne was even on it. Yes.
So, I mean, as much as we complain, but there's really only like 6 people that weren't considered OGs on this season. So
yeah.
Because I keep on forgetting that we have a points thing going on. Not that I had any to give you, Michelle. We'll talk. I'll do a separate post with the results. Maybe, and I'll just say though that we talked about this last episode. We chatted. Michelle did not have anybody going into the finals. So Team Throwing Noodles had Nany, Corey, Devin, Kellyanne, Katie, and Aneesa. None of her team made it to the finals. So very likely that she did not win this season. Next up was Matthew with the Millionaire Mean Girls, and he only had Sam going into the finals. So he had Ashley M, Veronica, Turbo, Amber, Leroy, and Sam. And so likely he did not win here either. So it's most likely going to be between me and Fanta. So Fanta had Frank, Devon, and Steve going into the final. And I had Shane, Melissa, and Adam. So the last time that I did our points gathering was after episode, I think six, I think. And hold on, let's just scoot it on over. Was it 6? No. Oh, it's just lying. Episode 5. And at that point, it was pretty even. Well, no, I was in the lead, and then it was Matthew, then it was Fanta, then it was you, Michelle. So it will definitely be between me and Fanta. So what I will do is Fanta is still catching up on the season and the episodes. So maybe in a week or so, hopefully she's caught up. We'll just have like Fanta on we'll all just chat about just in general. We could talk to her. I don't think she knows about the rumored cast for 41. So we can talk about that. And we can just have like a little, or maybe Adam will want to talk to us. And we'll have like a powwow. And then we'll do like the winner reveal there. But it's likely going to be between me and Fanta.
Yeah.
Just with who we have left going into the finals.
And everyone is shocked and awed by the fact that I'm not in the running.
Sorry. I love you. Well, do you have anything else going on that you want to talk about?
That I want to talk about? No. Just taxes.
Oh, I might found you a tax person if you want.
I already got it. But
this person, my friend at work, was like, this guy's the best. And so I might switch tax guys to go to this guy. Mary says, when does Love Island start? I miss you with the other girlies. We will be doing, I'm sure we'll do some of it. There's that you don't watch Love Island really, right? You're in and out?
I haven't watched since like season 2. Yeah, I'm like,
it's a commitment. If you were in it for last season, like, so it was an epic season of Love Island. It was amazing. Still following the people now, and because they were so loved, like one girl got like 3 million Instagram followers after the show. The other girl's like 2 million, 1 million. Like the people were and still are obsessed that they're now filming a new reality series with the same cast following their lives in LA. And so, like, just like the entire cast of season 6 of Love Island USA are going to be filming again about like life after the villa, basically.
Wow.
Reality show, docu-series vibe. So
that's pretty iconic.
Look at this, Michelle. I spotted you ladies on Top Chef and Hell's hair looking really vibrant. So once I saw it, yes, it was easy to spot you in the background. So funny. Okay, well, that isn't, oh my God, what happened to our Bachelor recap with Tamika Joy? It was just hard to coordinate this. It's hard. When I started this podcast, it was COVID. I had no job. I had all the time in the world to watch TV and recap and talk on podcasts, and I loved it. But once you have to bring in a career where you need to be working, it just became a little bit more difficult. And same with Tamika. She started a new job. Instead of working from home, she doesn't work at home anymore. And so timing becomes a little bit more difficult when people are all working full-time jobs. And so we had the best intentions, but then it just started piling up, and we're like, okay, we can catch up on 3 episodes, which would be 6 hours. And I'm like, I just don't have 6 hours to give to a pod right now.
No, thanks.
So I'm sorry it didn't happen. We can maybe talk about all the after stuff that's been going on. So I'll let them know, Dabu, that you would like to hear our thoughts about Grant and Juliana. And maybe we'll just do like a whole what's happening Bachelor catch up, and we can talk all about that. All right. This is true. Cordell. So Cordell's one of the guys that was in season 6 of Love Island. He is filming a scripted show, so he's not in the main cast, but he's going to be, because he's still with his partner from the show, and she's going to be one of the main characters for sure on this new season. And so he's going to be like a friend of, because he won't be able to be there full time. But
love that.
Which episode of Top Chef? How dare you, Mary?
It's last week.
Not this week, but 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, not this past week, but yeah, it was the episode where they have they do like street food.
Underneath the Bedway, which is like a highway, underneath the highway.
And they're in like teams of 2. It's when they just bring someone back from Last Chance Kitchen for the first time, because they usually do it twice per season.
Wait, so just so you can see what you're looking for.
You don't actually see like our features. You just like see the outline of us.
But like, it's so embarrassingly funny. Just like on either side of Kristen's head will always be me and Michelle.
Oh, it makes my life complete. It makes my life complete.
It's so good. Okay, well, that's it, everybody, for the season of All Stars. We will be back with something with Fanta. We'll do like a catch-up, roundup, what's going on, like maybe a news update on the challenge, and then we'll reveal the official winners, and we'll decide what we're going to do, another draft, or what we're going to do. All right, so subscribe to the channel, everybody. Please like this video, ring the bell so you know when we go live at a random time, like 2 p.m. on a Monday, Easter Monday, that is. And talk to us in the comments. What's your order? Which seasons do you like the best of these All-Star seasons? Do you think that they're going to get a season 6? What can we do? Should we start a change.org? How can we help Mark Long get a season 6 on air? You guys are the best. We love you. And we'll hopefully see you for season 6.
Yes.
Bye.